в западных элитах очень сильно желание заморозить существующее положение, несправедливое положение вещей в международных делах. Они привыкли столетиями набивать брюхо человеческой плотью, а карманы деньгами. Но они должны понять, что бал вампиров заканчивается.
We're not even done searching. This is just what we've found so far and been able to piece together. Okay, so you might have seen the post on Twitter where I said Epstein was in efforts to overthrow Putin with Bill Gates and the LGBTQ movement. The Epstein files reveal, so this is right here, this picture is Ilya Ponomarev. He was a state Duma member who helped organize the 2011-2012 White Ribbon Uprising against Putin. In 2014, he cast the only vote against annexing Crimea. It was 445-1. He was the one. Mm-hmm. In January 2012, Boris, again, Bill Gates' guy, forwarded a request from him to Epstein and asked any idea how to help him. I am talking to a friend who can help Ilya. He is the main opposition to Putin. As such, he has supporters from the LGBT community in Russia. Now, we know LGBT movement is illegal in Russia. It is banned. He says, I discussed it with him. It turns out he is the only Duma representative who voted against LGBT discrimination vote. He knows most of the leadership in that community in Russia and has helped such application for asylum in the US. So he's moving gay Russians to the United States to create a fifth column, I would guess.
And he uses assets, 100%. This is assets. Yeah.
Assets for the United States, the Russian opposition people. Now, mind you, what did I read in the beginning? Somebody said Putin's not controlled by the Jews. They said Trump is controlled. Trump is controlled by Israel. And it said Putin actually controls his Chabad and uses it to subvert the United States. So now we have this cadre of Zionists and whatever you want to call them, Jews, that are using the Russian opposition to subvert Putin. And you're going to tell me that Putin is in the pocket of Israel?
Please.
We have to do this every week. Well, I'll keep doing it. I don't care, but let's continue. So he says, we should go to Russia soon. We should soon go to Russia and you should meet my friend. He is a member of the Duma and he and his very smart and cute girlfriend are the main organizers of the uprising against Putin. I am afraid of what will happen to him. The stakes are huge. He may replace Putin and become delusional and become a president by himself if he does not get killed before. It's super dangerous. This is from a Russian girl who was working with Epstein. She says, Boris, I just wanted to wonder if something is possible to do in regards to participation in Davos this year. Under these circumstances, it's very important to get to Davos to communicate what is going on so that is not only official Putin voice is heard. Mm-hmm. So they were all working together to subvert Putin, working with the opposition, creating uprisings. This is inside of Russia. Now, what do we know about Ilya after? What did he do after that? He defected, became a Ukrainian citizen, and he did cross-border raids into Belgorod, into Kursk, killing Russians. This is who Epstein worked with. A fascist Nazi that went into Kursk, did a siege on people, killed people, tortured them. Children were trafficked out of there. We'll get to more of that later.
Understand and Politics has been to Kursk twice to report on this from the ground to see the damage, and more stuff's coming out right now. I got a ton of footage and things we're going to discuss on Wednesday as well, some of these issues. But I want everyone to know that not only did they not get Putin became stronger. Russia became more centralized in terms of commanding and controlling these oppositions and fifth columns. and expelling them outright, especially after the special military operation. So in Russia, their plans failed. And what else did they go to? They had to resort to open war. They had to resort to open war to try to dislodge and do regime change. Not only economic war, not only the most sanctions in the world, not only this hybrid war, but all-out war to kill, to invade Russian Federation territory. I want people to understand that.
I just want to correct myself on this one. This one at the bottom left. This is actually from Ilya himself. Sorry, I got him confused. There's another email from his girlfriend asking for help as well. This is from him himself, directly to Bill Gates' assistant, Boris.
Yep.
Continuing on in this thread. Here we go. Let's jump into the Maidan. Did Epstein work with a Slovak minister in the Ukraine coup? All right, let me give you guys some background here. This is obviously Jeffrey staying in Kiev. Here he is emailing a Rothschild in 2014. Ukrainian upheaval should provide many opportunities. Many. What would a human trafficker think that the opportunities would be in Ukraine, especially coming out of a war? Crazy, right? Anyway, and a Rothschild, all they think about is money or power, probably children as well, but who knows? So here's all of that. The Epstein files show deep involvement in Ukraine's political trajectory from regime change networks to the country's new president. We showed you guys Epstein's network covering or connecting with the Russian opposition. This guy. So he was talking to Epstein. This is Miroslav Lajcek. He's a former Slovak prime minister. Why is he former? He literally resigned yesterday because of this. He was the former Slovak prime minister, former president of the UN, and the EU's chief negotiator for the Ukraine Association Agreement. This is so important. That is the deal whose rejection by Yanukovych triggered the Maidan. The Epstein files now show Miroslav texting him in June of 2019 about visiting Zelensky this Thursday, weeks after Zelensky took office. Yesterday, he resigned as a national security advisor to the Slovak prime minister. Now, guys, recall the Slovak prime minister was almost assassinated by a Ukrainian fanatic.
Correct. Absolutely. And it has been on the receiving end of threats outright to strip him of power by the European Union and by the NATO bloc because of his opposition to this ongoing war of aggression against Russia.
So check out this down in the bottom left. That's the Rothschild email, the date, March 18th, just for you Euros and people in the East. We date month, date, then year for some reason in the West. And then in our military, we date day, month, year. So it's very stupid. We should just do it like everybody else does, day, month, year. But regardless, this is March 18th, 2014. That is 4 days after Crimea.
Wow.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, Crimea is Russia. We just have to throw it out there again.
And up in the top left. So this is why I tell you guys, note the dates and what's going on when these emails are being written. The stay at the Hyatt Regency in Kiev in February. Okay. So February, he's meeting with, that's a month before Zelensky wins the election, by the way. A month before Zelensky wins the election. Crazy, right? Crazy, yep. Right? So Epstein and Larry Summers, this next is Epstein and Larry Summers, who we all know is now the disgraced whatever he was, dean of Harvard, president of Harvard. They were texting about Zelensky. This is 2 weeks after Zelensky won the elections. This is May 6th, 2019. Zelensky had just won. He wasn't inaugurated yet. Epstein says Zelensky is looking for help. And he says Putin is dismissive of him, saying he is ran by Israelis. So not only now we have Putin uses his Chabad to subvert the United States, and he's in control of them, right? Trump is actually co-opted by Israel. Putin doesn't. We have Epstein working with the opposition to subvert Putin. Or Epstein, and now we have Putin saying, I don't even want to deal with Zelensky. He's controlled by Israelis. And I got to fight with people every day that Putin's not a Jew.
Do you remember the video? Do you remember the video when I think it was Putin who walks in and walks by Netanyahu and they don't shake hands? That's exactly, this is the moment. This is the moment, people. This is where you get to like look in the past and be like, oh, wow.
What do you think, Putin? Remember Putin's speech about the man in the black suits?
Yeah.
He meant to say little hats, but he wasn't going to say that. Come on, you know what he meant to say. That's exactly what he said. And people need to observe Putin's actions because Putin is he's a very symbolic person. You have to understand how he says things. That's why people might have seen me get into it with Bricks News. I was like, if you don't understand how to translate Russian, stop doing it. Because he was saying like Putin wants to join the Board of Peace. And I'm like, you don't even understand what he said. You don't understand the tone of his voice when he said it. Like, just don't bother. Like, so the day of the Board of Peace stuff, Putin purposefully met with the Palestinian Authority. Yes, it's not ideal. We don't really love the Palestinian Authority. He cannot meet with Hamas or the PFLP. Okay, that's out of the question. But he did that on purpose. Symbolically, he said, you're going to go meet in Davos and talk about these people's future. And we already told you we won't join because they're not on the board. I'm going to meet with them. Mm-hmm. That was a message. And that's how people need to start waking up and understanding what we're actually up against. When Dugin and all of his maniacal glory says, this is a war against Satanism. And when Putin kind of echoes those words or other commentators echo those words, they're not kidding. Nazism is true. Yes, that's not what that's the easy word that they just throw out there. They don't want to say we're actually going in there to clean out all this disgusting corruption that is harming people, abusing children. These people are Satanists. And we're going to talk about that a lot on Wednesday. So also I want to make a notation of who's involved in that. It was Larry Summers, who's the former U.S. Treasury Secretary under Clinton, former director of National Economic Council under Obama, casually offering to discuss with Jeffrey Epstein, Ukraine. Why? We don't know. Why does Zelensky need to be involved with Larry Summers? Viktor Pinchuk is a Ukrainian oligarch who created a prominent pro-Western forum to promote Ukraine's integration with the EU and hosted high-profile international political and business figures. And Natalie Yaresko is an American-born economist appointed as Ukraine's finance minister after the 2014 coup. She negotiated Ukraine's sovereign debt restructuring and led major IMF-backed financial programs during her term. A convicted sex trafficker, the former Treasury Secretary, discussing how to advise Ukraine's incoming president. 1 month later, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. We know how that went.
Oh, yeah, we do.
So, and then lastly, and again, because I want to say that don't forget about this. This is a text message that our producer found searching through. He's going back and forth with a girl in Donbass, trying to make her into an intelligence asset, telling her there's huge amounts of money will be made. Huge. I'd like to see you as a female oligarch.
Oh.
I want you to start reading about politics in Ukraine, Zelensky, corruption, parliament, start to follow it. I understand you want to be successful for many reasons, and I mean very successful. It will take time and hard work, but I know you can do it. It's possible that I am back in New York next Saturday for the day or otherwise Palm Beach. You say Donetsk region? What city? I want 2 to 3 hours of face-to-face sometime before August. He was recruiting women and making them into honey traps and intelligence assets in Ukraine. Specifically asking her to spy on Zelensky and his cohort.
This just makes me just say, Putin, take it all.
That's what I literally messaged Bordeaux and I said, you should just